Well, remember last month when Joe Biden issued this warning to ISIS?
When people harm Americans, we don't retreat. We don't forget. They should know we will follow them to the gates of hell until they are brought to justice. Because hell is where they will reside.
That still works for me. So does America still plan to chase them there? Well, the terror network is now reportedly just 8 miles from Baghdad. If Baghdad falls, then the entire country won't be far behind. So what's our plan? Jonah Goldberg thinks our campaign so far is merely just for show.
It's not an air campaign. It is something slightly more than a PR campaign. This is essentially a political operation. It is a way to say we're doing something to take the heat off of him through the midterms, to make it seem as if he is doing what he needs to do as commander-in-chief, when in fact it's essentially a glorified light show at this point.
All right, well, let's see if there's some evidence to the contrary. They're certainly doing the airstrikes. There's criticism that that is insufficient, and evidence such as Baghdad, they're 8 miles away. Bowling, what does this tell us about the efficiency and the lethalness of this operation?
Well, they could step it up. I think the numbers, we looked at them a couple of days ago, and there were 400 total airstrikes in several months. I mean, they could be doing 400 a day. Again, it's expensive, though. I mean, we're dropping $4 million bombs on $20,000 trucks. But look, they're in some...
But spend more unless it's going to make it... I mean, what's the point unless it's going to make a difference?
There are 200,000 Iraqi soldiers who should be protecting Baghdad, right? 200,000 Iraqi soldiers up against 30 or 35,000 ISIS soldiers. They need to step up, too. Peshmerga can get them from both sides. Look, again, you guys get so ticked off at me when I say I don't want to put American troops in harm's way on the ground there, but I still...
We don't want to put them in harm's way either.
No,
on the ground, though. On the ground.
No, but listen, be fair. Because you've got the Peshmergas, they've basically got like switchblades. They've got knives, and you've got ISIS who has incredible weaponry against them. It is not
Baghdad's army's got the most sophisticated weaponry you can have.
If it's not getting done, then what are we supposed to... Oh, well, wish they were better fighters.
If 200,000 people can't hold off for Baghdad, they don't deserve to hold off for Baghdad.
But that's just like a politically...
That's why we never should have been in this war in the first place.
Well, that doesn't help now, Bob. The fact is, the fact that we're doing this segment tells us that the president's strategy is not clear, that nobody knows what's going on. I said it last week. It's karaoke, which is airstrike karaoke. It's symbolic. It's not substantive. And, we've seen where this goes. If you don't play to win, you lose.
Yeah. But that's the point. And, Andrea, so here's the deal. We can do the airstrikes. Fantastic. Everyone feels like clean, safe, buttoned up about it. But if it's not working, we're doing more harm than good. I mean, this is ridiculous. We've got to do more airstrikes, but also arm the right people with the right weapons. Otherwise, we can't complain about it if they're shooting slingshots.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be half-hearted in war. That's the surest way that you're going to lose if you're half-hearted. And we are being half-hearted. Now, I do agree no American boots on the ground. I don't think the president should have said it. However, but look what's happening. So Kobani in Syria is about to fall.
Right.
This is an issue for Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and his army to deal with, and the Turkish military. But guess what? The Turkish military doesn't want to do anything. They want to plant their tanks along the border just in case ISIS flows into Turkey. So I agree. Look, this is their fight. It's terrible. I hate to see anything happen to those civilians on the ground, but it's not our fight. 2, in Iraq, it would be incredibly embarrassing for this administration to have the Baghdad airport fall. And by the way, a really bad idea to give the terrorists an airport.
Right. So is
anyone else concerned that we could be giving them an airport?
I am concerned about it. And my point is, the reason why you have to understand from a, strategic standpoint is the way that you're able to target and make these airstrikes more efficient and more deadly is by having information, manpower on the ground to tell you specifically where they're hiding. So, bombing empty space where they aren't is not going to help anything. You've got to hit the right target.
You don't know that. We do have people on the ground. And the other thing is they're not going to take the Baghdad airport. And the other thing that drives me crazy, I know that Jonah Goldberg is in the family. We're not supposed to be dumping the family. I won't dump on Greg because he's my friend. But the idea of suggesting that this is some PR campaign, that Goldberg said that the President of the United States would put Air Force pilots in harm's way for our election is disgraceful, disgusting, and uninformed and sophomoric.
I don't think he said that.
That's exactly what he said.
No, he didn't. But what are you yelling at me
I'm sorry, I
for?
didn't mean to
Because
yell
I'll
at you.
meet you after this show, and it ain't going to be pretty.
The problem with the Kurds relying on those other boots is the Kurds were going to help us out last year, but we drew that red line and we never enforced it. So they were waiting for the U.S. to help, just like they're waiting now, and we haven't given them anything to help them be the boots on the ground. So we're failing on all levels.
We've trained 200,000 troops.
There's more that we can do. I think we can all agree at the table. Perhaps we differ on exactly what that should be. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
I'm going.
Bob's friend.
All right, but you don't go.
America.